And this will be the First Amendment test of the Carson Division. It's May 1st of 2016. And I'm at the Carson Division now. There was one activist before me when I did my first one. To my knowledge, this would be the third one. He had two sergeants and a captain. Now I play poker, but I received a sergeant, corporal, and two deputies, and he got a captain and two sergeants. So I ask you, who won that poker hand? Okay, a visual contact, obviously. The individual saw me. And a third one over here. Now, I'm going to set this down. Now, I'm not pretentious to think that maybe the one waved the individual by and they're both talking about that stupid son of a bitch over there with the camera. That little arrogant fuck that thinks that the First Amendment applies to him. That siren's coming from behind me. It's not them. Okay, I'm going to write this as a one contact. Well, not contact per se, but a visual. And I'm on. Oh, here's a third one. He's coming in. And it's strange that we have to teach, or we have to teach these law enforcement employees how to respect the people they serve. I also have it in this here. This is a well, let's see me go back. Maybe go back this way. Anyways, I have this here. It picks up license plates. I don't want them to hear me say license plates, but it does pick up numbers from license plates. And it's terrible. We have to teach these people like animals, ready to strike. You know what I mean? First of all, they come on scene like an animal. They're scared like an animal. They're willing to pounce and rip your larynx right out of your throat like an animal. Not thinking very well, and they get kind of like a tunnel vision. They're supposed to be trained not to get that tunnel vision when you get into a combat situation. But it was LAPD chief, the late Daryl Gates, that once says, if you know the history of the Daryl Gates, he bumped hit. Okay, hold on. Ex-police chief Daryl Gates, if you guys understand the history, they referred to him as the cop's cop. He was a pretty cool dude. He didn't mess around with the politics. He wrote a book called Chiefs, which I've read. And what happens is that's a book that I really enjoyed, because it brought you through the law enforcement through the 50s and 60s and 70s, and he talks about everything. When he was a rookie, before LA had, in some places had street lights, and so he was a traffic cop, and they put him in a vice. He talks about when he was in vice, and he talks about his partner, how things had changed, and when you're in vice, you don't carry a gun. How LA was really tamed at that time. And then, of course, he talks about everything in the George Holiday film with Rodney King. So, just the reason I'm narrating this is because you guys will find it boring, because there may not be a contact, and I'll write that. I've learned to write copious notes on my post, because I like to put up the whole video and nothing but the video, because I want to, I could narrate and do this, both the same thing. Now, again, I reiterate, the LAPD Chief Daryl Gates, the late Daryl Gates, when he was chief, he always bumped heads with Mayor Bradley constantly. Almost every election. And this was before term limits, and Bradley kept getting reelected. And Daryl Gates once got into trouble by saying, in reference to the chokehold, which was adopted by most law enforcement agencies, then they found out, and I'm not being prejudiced, but they did find out that maybe it's genetics or what, but a certain nationality their veins will collapse, and they would be killed. So Chief Daryl Gates accidentally said something to the effect, well, black people's veins don't open like normal people. And I think the verbiage was normal. I think people had a problem with. But anyway, I digress again. Chief Daryl Gates also says the only thing wrong with law enforcement is that we must hire from the human element. Now, that's what he said as chief, when he's always bumping heads with the press also. And the only thing I could think of with that verbiage, the only thing wrong with law enforcement is that we must hire from the human element, which means there's no computer out here. There is no RoboCop yet. So one could assume that what Chief Gates was talking about was they're human and they make mistakes. So, like I say, I've got my scope, and I'm going to check out license plates. Yeah, these things are pretty powerful. It's a Killamar, spelling K-A-L-I-M-A-R. The scope that I'm looking through, that's the one I showed you. I use it for shooting, target watching, whatever you want to call it. And it served me well. Here it is. Try to get in there. Here we go. And it's a pretty good unit, pretty nice one. It's heavy than a son of a bitch. It really is. I'm thinking, Jesus. It's like. Let me see if we can shoot this way. I wonder if you can see it. Can you see it? See? Probably can't, huh? Well, anyways, I digress. Again, I'm going to be out here for a couple. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning right now. Well, it wouldn't be 10 o'clock at night unless I have one hell of a camera, but it's 10 o'clock in the morning, again on May 1st, 2016. Here comes a personal vehicle. No front license plate. Now I'm going to tell this individual, as a citizen, I'm going to tell him that he doesn't have a front license plate. Okay, now this is odd. He doesn't have a, wait a minute. He doesn't have a rear license plate. A white BMW with no license plate. It's an older model. I think it would be, his license plate would have came in by, what's that, 4 or 5 year old BMW? No license plate? Don't you feel that that's suspicious, and I should notify local law enforcement that there's a vehicle that just came out of your lot with no license plate? I know what they're going to do. They're going to sit there and say, yes, that is suspicious. Do you have him on camera? Now, what do you think? If he was law enforcement, and he gets pulled over, what do you think? You think he'll get a ticket? Well, I'm going to go into the sheriff's department because that's suspicious activity, and they like to be briefed on suspicious activity. So I'm taking this into the now again, I'm not pretentious to sit there and think that, could it be that he took off his license plates for me? Because everyone knows it's all about me. Geez, no bill for a service.
Hello. Have you been helped, sir?
No, just suspicious activity. There's a vehicle that left their lot, no front nor back license plate, and also it took off that way.
What's up now?
And so it doesn't have any, but on like a Prox. So it's a older white BMW, 4-door.
Let me take all this information. Older.
White BMW 4-door. And it had no front nor back license plates. I thought it was rather suspicious. And it came from your guys' lot, so I don't know if you followed somebody in or.
All right.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anybody else need help? Everybody else need help? Oh, okay. Everybody else good?
Okay, so for A plus, I mean, not only did I have several contacts with uniformed and officers, but I made I initiated a verbal contract due to a suspicious vehicle. This is not Ed. That's a Mercedes. And what do you think? Do you think he knew? Do you think he knows who that driver was? He was just placating me? Okay. And again, I had the big monocular on my chest, and I had it, so he knows that I'm one of those stalkers. Again, I'm one of those arrogant bastards that think the First Amendment applies to him, that he was sent down here by the hand of God to smite local law enforcement. I don't like to get too religious. Now, the local law enforcement or enforcement in general, they'll tell you, oh, it's suspicious, you're out here with a camera. It's suspicious. It's not, you don't see that every day. Well, and then you worry about terrorists. Terrorists this, terrorists that, get off our property bullshit. And then all of a sudden a vehicle, which could have followed someone in, leaves with absolutely no plates. If that was a form of law enforcement personnel, then they should have known better. That's screwed up. This is what I'm saying about the holier than thou. How many times have you seen a motor cop or a car in red zones? I've got video on cop cars in red zones, and if you don't believe that, then go to Jimmy Justice out of New York. Cops that are speeding, running red lights, and without code, and they're not running code, and parked in red zones. And I've got one from Santa Ana that they were blocking semi-blocking, not completely, a handicapped. There's no end to their madness. Now they say that, well, we must be near a vehicle just in case we get a call, just like a cowboy running out to save his regiment or something, and he's got to hop on that horse. I don't see anybody in the parking lot right now. I'm on the monoculars right now. I could read numbers, but and that was if I don't know you catch it, the chevrons, but that was a Sargent.